this Windows machine. Okay, we have started working on that, and the name was Retro. But actually, when I was doing this in another session, so it is having some issues currently. So what we do is we go to the alternative version of this room, which is Blaster. It's essentially the exact same thing, but the issues that were present in that room have been solved here, so we should be able to work on this properly. After you deploy it, it takes about a minute. The address shows up. Okay, so you can simply copy this IP address, copy to clipboard. Okay, now what we do is we go to this website. Okay, and we had discovered that this was the URL called Retro. So it's taking a while to deploy, I think. So that's why we're not really getting this URL access. So we did do this with Derb, right? We did get this retro link in the last session. I think that's what we where we ended. Connection has timed out. Okay, let's wait for a couple of minutes before we try to access it. Let's try again. I'm still unable to connect. Let me check if I can ping this website. Oh, sorry, ping this server. Oh, it's responding to our pings. Okay, so this is the website. Now, what we need to do is we need to figure out how we can further penetrate into the system. So, this website it's mainly about articles about retro gaming and maybe a couple of movies as well. Okay, so now there's a login portal here. If I try to access it, okay, so one thing that we know is that this website is running WordPress. So I can try to use the default admin. Let's see that works. Whether that works for me or not. Okay, so it does not work. It tells us that it's an invalid username. Okay. Now, as of now, we don't have any other credentials to try. So we'll just go back to the website and try reading through it, see what we can find. Okay, so let's say I pick some article. Okay, if I pick this one up, is there anything that I can find here? Let me see. What if we look at the page source? Doesn't really look like there is anything here. No interesting HTML comments, nothing, but just the text of the page. Okay. We know that the user, one of the users on the website is Wade. So far, it looks like he's the only person on the website because we haven't really seen the mention or even any articles written by any other users here. So, so Wade's profile shows okay, these are the different posts, recent posts. Now, See, if I do an nmap scan on the system like we did previously, okay, have it copied, I'll just paste it. We're not really going to find a lot of open ports in this case. Okay, let's continue working on the website meanwhile. So if I try reading some article, maybe I'll find something here. Just doesn't really look like there is any hint which might uh, give us a password. It's just some techniques for playing Pac-Man. Mm, Nothing so far. Okay, I'll just close this. Let's look at another one. Let's see this one if we can find anything. Is there anything here? Doesn't look like it. Okay, these links that are present, let us check them out. Okay, if you look at the bottom left corner, okay, these are links to actual websites related to these games and these topics. So those are not going to help us in this case. Again, this is a link to a website, but those are not helpful. There are no comments as well. When I come to this section and I look at recent comments, so Wade has commented something on Ready Player One. So let us take a look. Okay. So now if you read through this post, okay, it's a small post. Let's just read through it. It says, I can't believe the movie based on my favorite book of all time is going to come out in a few days. It's talking about Ready Player One. So maybe it's because my name is so similar to the main character, but I honestly feel a connection. And so now the sentence that comes after it is important. So basically, see this. He says that I keep mistyping the name of his avatar whenever I log in, but I think I'll eventually get it down. Okay. Either way, I'm really excited to see this movie. So he says I keep mistyping the name of his avatar whenever I log in. So that means that could be his password. because his username we already know, that's Wade. And if you look at the comment, if you scroll down, look at the comment, it says, leaving myself a note here just in case I forget how to spell it. Parzival. So he has even mentioned the password out here. So if I just take this combination and I go to login, let's say I tried Wade and Parzival. So let's see whether it allows us to log in or not. Okay, so we are logged in as Wade, and as you can see, we have access to the WordPress CMS, the WordPress panel for this website. Now we can look around here, see if there's anything we can do, if we can edit themes, or if there's any plugins that can give us any information. Doesn't really look like there's anything here. Okay, there's a theme being used. If we Doesn't really look like there's anything to be done with this theme or with this website with WordPress. On the other hand, I ran an Nmap scan. It should be back by now. Okay, so we have port 80 open, HTTP, so the website that we are accessing. We also have SMB running here. We have MySQL running, and we have port 3389 open. So what is this double 389 for? What is this port for? Who can tell me? No, no answers. Okay. So this port 3389 is for RDP or remote desktop protocol, which can be used to remotely access a Windows system, provided you have the credentials for running Windows on that system. Now we don't really know if that system has an account called Wade and whether we can log into it using the password that we received. We don't know that now, but we can try. So I'm going to use X free RDP, and the first thing I specify is the username, which is Wade. Then I come to the password, and finally the last thing is our host that we need to connect to. So we specify the IP. It's just timeout waiting for activation. Just check. If I just do this, just a moment. Okay, so let me try using a separate timeout option, and this has to be in milliseconds. What if we specify 20-second timeout? Okay, so now we are able to connect. The thing with this blaster machine is that it's a little slow. It can take a while. Okay, so now using RDP, we are logged onto the system as Wade. Now, okay, it still hasn't connected fully. Okay, I think I should give it a couple of minutes. If I access this text file, does it open? It's still taking a lot of time to open up these files. If you open this file, you'll get the flag for the user flag within this file. Okay, so I'm going to close both of these. Now on this system, okay, on the desktop at least, there's not much to go by. Okay, there's this recycle bin and a user flag that we've seen. So let's just try opening this, see what we get. So in this recycle bin, we can see there is this file HHUPD, and we don't even know what it is and or what it does. So for now, let's just leave it. In case we figure out it might be useful, we can take a look at it. Okay, let's look around the system, see if we can find any files. Because if we can, then we'll be able to, we might be able to use them to our advantage. Okay, so let's come back to this PC. Or we could quickly take a look at these folders. Let's see if there's anything we can find in downloads or documents or something. Nothing here. This is empty as well. And again, this pictures has this wallpaper which is being used, but of course, nothing else. Okay, now these other directories are unlikely to have something. If there is something, it's probably in this users folder. Okay, now we have three things here: Wade, public, and administrator. Now for Wade, we have already seen what is present in these folders. Okay, so there is nothing there. Public, usually there is nothing in the public folders, but it's worth taking a look at. Downloads empty. Okay, documents. Let's see. Okay, empty again. I am guessing the others would be empty as well. Okay, empty folder. Another empty folder. Okay, so there is nothing in any of these directories, and in the administrator folder, of course, if you try to access it, it will tell you that you don't have permission. If you try to get permission, it will tell you that you need to enter the password. So of course it asks us for a password, and we don't have that. So we're going to say no and come back. Okay, so what else can we try? I mean, so far, apart from the user flag and an executable in the recycle bin, there is nothing that we have found. We can try looking for hidden files and folders. You can turn that setting on. Maybe that will lead us to something. I don't know. I've already typed the entire word, but like I mentioned, this one is a little slow. So, no results found. Okay. So, can we not try to go to the control panel? I right click here. Okay, nothing is happening. Okay, so what we'll do is we'll continue working on this in the next session. Okay, we'll do this later. So if you have any questions from this session, feel free to ask.